Vulnerability. It's something we fear, something we hide from. In a world that values strength, independence, and control, vulnerability is seen as a weakness. But what if I told you that the true power of transformation comes from embracing your weaknesses, accepting your fears, and stepping into vulnerability? We are taught from an early age that strength means being invincible, unbreakable, but true strength, the kind that leads to lasting change, is found in vulnerability. To truly grow, we must be willing to face the parts of ourselves that we've spent years trying to hide. In this video, we will explore how embracing vulnerability can lead to real self-mastery and transformation. Section 1. The modern obsession with strength. In today's world, strength is worshipped. Physical strength, mental toughness, emotional resilience. We look up to those who can endure without showing weakness. We admire the unflinching, the unshakable, the ones who have it all together. But what if this pursuit of strength is misguided? What if we're missing something important? The truth is, no one is invincible. No one is free from fear, pain, or doubt. Yet we mask our vulnerabilities behind walls of pride, success, and control, fearing that if we show weakness, we will be judged or rejected. We've created a society where vulnerability is synonymous with failure. We believe that being vulnerable means being fragile or exposed, but that's far from the truth. It's in vulnerability that we find our greatest strength. True strength doesn't come from avoiding our weaknesses. It comes from embracing them. It's not about pretending we have it all together, but rather accepting that we don't, and moving forward despite that fact. If this shifted something inside you, hit subscribe. We do this every day. Section 2. The power of vulnerability in ancient philosophy. Ancient philosophers, particularly the Stoics, understood that vulnerability is not a weakness. It is a pathway to self-awareness and growth. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, frequently writes about accepting our human limitations. The Stoics believed that to live a virtuous life, one must first understand their flaws, confront their fears, and work towards overcoming them. In Stoic thought, there is no room for hiding our true selves. The Stoics didn't teach us to repress our emotions or deny our weaknesses. Instead, they taught us to face our fears head-on and to understand them. Vulnerability, in the Stoic sense, is about being honest with ourselves about what we are feeling, about what we are afraid of, and about where we need to grow. The true power of vulnerability, according to the Stoics, is in its ability to reveal our true nature. When we are vulnerable, we expose the parts of ourselves that need work, the parts of us that are still trapped in fear or doubt. By facing these aspects of ourselves, we free ourselves from the grip they hold over us. Section 3. The fear of vulnerability. Why is vulnerability so terrifying? Why do we resist it so strongly? At its core, vulnerability triggers a deep fear of being judged, of being seen as weak, or even of being abandoned. This fear is primal. It comes from our need for survival, for connection, and for acceptance within our community. For centuries, human beings have learned to mask their vulnerabilities to avoid rejection and the potential consequences that come with it. But what if the very thing we fear is actually the key to our personal liberation? When we open ourselves up and allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we break the chains of fear that keep us trapped in a cycle of denial and self-protection. We no longer need to put on a facade. We don't need to pretend to be something we're not. And most importantly, we stop letting the fear of judgment control us. By embracing vulnerability, we learn to embrace our humanity. We understand that imperfection is not something to be ashamed of. It's something to be celebrated. The willingness to be vulnerable allows us to connect with others on a deeper level, to form authentic relationships, and to step into our true potential. Section 4. The transformative power of vulnerability. Vulnerability is the birthplace of growth. Every moment we choose to be vulnerable is an opportunity to transform ourselves. It is an invitation to face our deepest fears, challenge the beliefs that hold us back, and embrace the discomfort that comes with change. The path to self-mastery is not linear. It is full of setbacks, failures, and moments of doubt. But vulnerability teaches us to see these moments not as obstacles, but as lessons. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we open up to the possibility of failure, but also the possibility of growth. It's through our failures, our struggles, and our mistakes that we learn the most about who we are and what we are capable of. When we embrace vulnerability, we stop running from our fears and start confronting them. We no longer see fear as something to be avoided, but as a powerful tool for growth. The more we lean into vulnerability, the stronger we become. We stop hiding behind masks of perfection and start living authentically. Section 5. Vulnerability and emotional intelligence. One of the key aspects of vulnerability is emotional intelligence. The ability to understand, manage, and express our emotions in a healthy way. Vulnerability is essential for emotional intelligence because it requires us to be in touch with our feelings and to express them honestly. In the modern world, emotional intelligence is more important than ever. We live in a time of rapid change, increasing social pressures, and constant distractions. To thrive in this environment, we need to be able to navigate our emotions and relationships with authenticity and empathy. Vulnerability allows us to build emotional intelligence by forcing us to confront our feelings, understand why we feel them, and communicate them in a way that fosters connection and understanding. It's not about being emotionally invulnerable, it's about being emotionally honest. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we give ourselves permission to feel, to experience, and to grow. Section 6. The connection between vulnerability and strength. There is a misconception that vulnerability and strength are opposites. That vulnerability weakens us, makes us fragile. But in reality, vulnerability is the ultimate form of strength. It requires courage, resilience, and a deep understanding of who we are and what we're capable of. When we choose to be vulnerable, we choose to be honest. We choose to face our fears head-on, without running from them. We choose to show up in the world as our authentic selves, without fear of judgment or rejection. This is the true power of vulnerability. It allows us to live freely, without the burden of perfection, without the fear of being exposed. It allows us to be real, to be human, and to connect with others on a deep, meaningful level. Closing thoughts. The path to self-mastery is not about avoiding vulnerability, it is about embracing it. It is about choosing to be honest with ourselves, to confront the parts of ourselves we fear, and to face the world without masks. Vulnerability is not a weakness, it is the key to unlocking our true strength. So I ask you, what would your life look like if you allowed yourself to be vulnerable? What would it look like if you embraced your weaknesses, accepted your fears, and stepped into your true power? Vulnerability is not a destination, it is a journey, a continuous process of growth, self-awareness, and transformation. It is the pathway to living a life of authenticity, strength, and connection. If this shifted something inside you, hit subscribe. We do this every day.